Mygavan and Melanine, and well met indeed. I am Arakir Galadurathan, the head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to Divide and Conquer as we continue on as the Kingdom of Gondor. We are besieging the City of the Fountain, preparing our attacks into Harad, and we are reinforcing, or we have reinforced, Thoros. Additionally, in the last episode, of course, our grand leader, Brandir, apparently of the Fountain Guard, Citadel Guard, Tower Guard, call them what you will, has essentially handed Mordor their arse, and he has routinely beaten them back, and we now have a solid hold in Estelat. So, it's going rather well. For those of you who may not know, or may have just forgotten, in the far west we actually have an alliance with the forces of Enedwaith, which is why we've had no real trouble out that way for some time, and we are preparing an army, this army, which is going to take those ships and join up with that unit, and a unit, I believe, that's on its way from Minas Tirith. Is a unit on its way, or are we training a unit? Some Blackroot Vale archers. Ithilien Rangers, sorry, are coming with us. But Hanion first of all has to take Thara-Grondost from the far west, and we can go from there. We're still being besieged at the Gondor Gate, hoping that they will attack so that we can defend it. And Angbor is resting there, so we can end the turn. Now, I cannot let this episode pass. Oh, someone died. Without discussing the lore video. First of all, allow my thanks to go out to Knight of the North, who is a gentleman who plays in the games in the Discord group. He's featured in a few videos, but he moans about me never mentioning him. And, oh, bugger, Nazgul's return to Mordor. All thank her in trouble. Knight of the North, who additionally gets special mention because when I first started playing Age of Empires with a group, with the Discord group, Knight of the North was the first person who played with me and showed me a few things that I could do. Essentially taught me how to be better at the game. So initially he deserves my thanks for that. But secondly, and more pertinent to the goodness gracious, the Dominion Rising Guard's been destroyed. Their family tree's been wiped out. Just as Nemir comes of age. How interesting. But in the lore video, the video about orcs and everything and everyone, a user on a service that is not YouTube gave his opinion of my video, and let's just say it's a scathing review, and settle it at that. And now the thing is, and I'm not going to use this as a chance to badmouth him, and that's not what I'm aiming for with this, but there are a few things in there that, upon reflection, are essentially just wholly wrong. The first of those is that the trolls do speak. We have other excerpts from the text where Ologhai do speak they speak the black speech of Mordor. Now that is a fact that was just wrong that is a fact that is right, but in the video I explain as to be completely wrong, that we have no other record of trolls talking. So I'll give him that. The other is that the reference to the half-trolls... what on earth are we going to do here? We need to take Derthang. I think we'll just hold that army near Ur-Kestelad while we secure the Eisenmouth. And we're besieging there. I don't think we're doing anything else.
My lord.
I always get so lost when I'm speaking. Then I forget where we are. City of the Fountain, 3 turns, not a problem. And the other is that the half-trolls, it describes them as black men like half-trolls. Now, I read that and took that to mean half-trolls. And I suppose a part of that is my, not necessarily bias, but in Total War, in Third Age Total War, there's always been a half-troll unit. There has in DaC, and I've kind of now just gotten used to the idea that there are half-trolls. But the word that is used is like, and if we take that as raw base form, that doesn't mean half-trolls, it means akin to half-trolls. And I will grant him that as well. So, upon reflection, maybe, there in fact are no half-trolls, and just all black people live very, very far south in the depths. So, those things I did just outright say wrong. I will give him that. But the gentleman calls into question basically every single concept and thing I raise in the video. And now the reason I jump to speak about Knight is because the gentleman does this in an incredibly rude way. And rude is not even the word. Like, I cannot sum up for you in terms how outrageous this guy was. And when this Reddit post was brought to my attention, Reddit, I wasn't going to tell you where it was. It's on Reddit. When this post was brought to my attention, I spoke to some of those I consider to be my closest friends in this group of people we play games with, and chief amongst them is Knight of the North. There you go, Knight. I finally got down on my knees, opened my mouth, and gargled. Apologies for the rather vivid imagery, but he'll understand. And he took fault with the way that the gentleman spoke of how terrible and how stupid and how idiotic and how much I basically should have just shut up and never speak to the world again about Lord of the Rings, because clearly I'm an idiot. And so that was why I was thanking him. So I just wanted to get that done and out of the way. So I was thanking Knight and his defense of me was incredibly eloquent and on point. Now the guy won't care about it because he is a typical holier-than-thou gentleman. And reading through his posts, apologies, this is going to distract me for some time, so if you're not interested, then feel free to skip along. I read through the rest of his posts on Reddit, and he seems to be, in every single one of them, just a horrible person. He clearly knows an awful lot about Lord of the Rings in a really, really ridiculously in-depth way. In the kind of in-depth way where he's like almost studied it at educational level, which requires a lot of dedication. So I'm not faulting him for that, but he seems to use the fact that he knows lots about Lord of the Rings as a way to go around and therefore just beat down anyone and everyone's interpretation. And he's one of those, holier than thou doesn't quite sum him up enough. He's taken that to the next level, and his interpretation of everything is 100% correct. And this is from his other comments. So he's not a very nice guy in general. But I speak of him because his attack is the best word I suppose I could use. It's just so unwarranted, and came out of nowhere. And the reason I speak of it is because I very nearly didn't bother recording today because it just got to me so much, more than I can say. It really, really, really got me. I know that my videos are not like 100% spot on the lore because they're not intended to be. They're intended to present the information of the Lord of the Rings to people who have maybe never even read the book. You've just played this game, you've come across orcs, and you've thought, oh, hang on, I'd like to learn a little bit more about them. I wonder if there's any way I can without having to read 700 pages of the totality of the series, and then maybe the Silmarillion on top of that to learn a bit more about where they came from, and then dig out some of Tolkien's letters. So the point of it is essentially to simplify the information presented to you, and then to present it in a discussional, conversational, theoretical basis. A big part of the video, I know I'm just defending myself against a guy who'll never hear me, and that's you should just never do that, but I feel I must. A big part of the video is to essentially theorize on the gaps of the knowledge. Tolkien left lots of gaps. Lots of gaps doesn't sum up the amount of stuff we don't know about Middle-earth. And so the point of the video is to try and give you a theory of what we might adduce from that, or deduce from that, or adduce is better. So it's, in some cases it is clearly just my opinion on a topic, but I make it clear whenever I do that, and he's taken things that I've said as my opinion as if I'm presenting them as gospel, and that also bothered me. But then the more that I'm speaking about this, the more I realise that this is totally irrelevant. Not only will he not see this video, but additionally his life would never change no matter how much anybody spoke or questioned him. And I suppose the reason I'm talking about this so much is because no one likes being told, or apologies if you can hear a major vibration, we're currently having our driveway redone. No one likes being told or highlighted to them that actually they're not as good at something than they originally thought. And yes, I'll confess that I do know a lot about Lord of the Rings, but I know it in a more of a factual basis. In the same way, and forgive me if my reference is incorrect, but I'm fairly certain, you can study history, and then you can also study what I believe is called historiography. And one is the actual raw facts. Down the gates. So one of them would be, for example, knowing that in 1066, William of Normandy attacked the Battle of Hastings, in which he won and killed King Harold. Right, that is a fact from history that we know. And then there's a study of what, I can never really sum it up, but the other is historiography, which is kind of like the study of people who study history almost. I can never really sum it up. I did a module of history or two at university, and I always hated it. The historiography side. So historiography is more about, I believe, studying sort of sources and who wrote what and why they might have written it and when they might have written it and all those kind of things. So one side studies the raw facts. I want to know, for example, like, I don't know, the capital city of northern Vietnam is Pyongyang. Like, that is a raw fact. That's not related to history at all. But then a historiographer might assess why someone wrote that the capital city was Pyongyang of Northern Korea. So just something like that. That's a very raw base terms version, and do correct me if there's a major flaw with that. But that same thing transfers into Tolkien's realm. There are those who study it because they're interested in it and they want to know the raw facts as if it is real. So learning about it as if it's actually, that is it, that is the fact, that is what happened, that is the truth. For example, like the Witch King in 1975 of the Third Age, the Witch King was defeated in the Battle of the North, and Glorfindel and the army of Gondor and Lindon combined defeated him. That's the fact. But then the historiography kind of part of it is learning at what point did Tolkien write that X theory was what he thought, say, about orcs, and then at what time in our actual history did he then write that maybe this other theory was what he thought about orcs. And the gentleman calls into question the way that I presented the orc side of it, saying that not only have I, again, got things wrong, which I would argue against, to be honest, I would argue against. Some of the things that he's presented are fact. He's brought absolutely no citation to his thoughts, and it is literally just, I know more than you, ergo my opinion on the topic is therefore better than yours. But he calls into question the way that I presented the material, knowing when Tolkien wrote XYZ letter and when he wrote 123 letter, and that I should have presented it in the way that mirrored the way his opinions changed. So basically, he just hated everything about the video, and I'm using this as an opportunity to moan about that, and I appreciate that, and I apologise. But I also wanted to do it partially as well because I am genuinely so amazed with how not only swiftly and with such strength that Knight jumped to my defense, but also with the completely eloquent and coherent arguments he used to beat down. He managed to sum up, the reason I'm gushing so much over this is because he managed to sum up everything that I'd been thinking since I'd read this post and been considerably annoyed by it, almost defeated by it. And Knight managed to sum up everything I was thinking into a really coherent argument that I never would have been able to gut down on the page. I'm probably in the wrong career, to be honest. But mostly this is all just a big way of me saying thank you to Knight of the North. Or if you're in the Discord, he's currently called First Knight, and that's not based on Shakespeare. Although, isn't it 12th Knight? For the moment, the fortune of battle goes our way. Let's pray it remains as such. Right, the problem with me having spieled about the gentleman who ruined the joy that I have for creating the lore videos is that I am now completely not paying attention to what is happening. Got a lot of archers, I just realised. Oh, good lord, we've got an absolute poop ton of archers. But a minute ago we were dying. Hands down dying, and now out of nowhere all of a sudden we're surviving. Right, get all the archers over there where they can actually be used. You cavalry, get a run. You lot should easily be able to bring down those Morannon Guard. It doesn't stop me from wanting to do another lore video, but it certainly impacted my... I suppose another section of it as well is that I have the resources to look up every single thing I say. But quite a lot of what I say I do from memory. So I would have read it once, twice, in most cases easily 3 or 4 times. I would have read a passage that I'm talking about. But there'll be the odd word that I've omitted or changed in my memory, and I then present that word. And some people are so purists, are so puritanical with the retelling of history, or in this case, fiction, that they want everything to be 100% on point, and that is, I think, another thing that got me. Oh, just everything about the guy just annoyed me to no end. Oh, you're going to die. Who are you? I don't know, but you're our general. Can you run away, maybe? Are you faster than the Dark Numenorians? So I apologise for moaning about it and bringing it to all of your attention. And to be honest, it's the first real post I think I've ever seen in the 1.5 years that we've now been on this YouTube little trail together, this journey. It's the first post I've ever seen that just outright hates me and everything I did. I've seen people who disagree with the odd point in videos before and who disagree with my general video style and that kind of stuff, and like, that's fair enough. But no one has like hated me as much as this man seemed to hate me, and so I think it's the first time I've had to deal with that. And evidently not dealt with it well. Go on, get in. Go and shut the door. Oh, well, they didn't. They could have got in, but we've saved him. We've saved him. Right, let's actually focus on the game now then.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Although somebody did mention that my mic quality in the video was the best he'd ever heard it, and I should bloody well hope so, because this mic was an awful lot of money. I'm looking into getting a better headset now, though, because the chair is something I've wanted for a while, which I spoke about in the last video. I did ask if anyone can recommend any good sort of comfortable desk chairs to play games in for long hours. But something I've been keen on for a while is a better headset, because this one's not all that comfortable with the... Now that I'm on Discord a lot more, I wear the headset an awful lot more, and this one is remarkably uncomfortable. I currently have a Sennheiser headset, and it cost me, again, a lot of money. And but I realise now that the money that it cost was because it has a very, very, very good quality microphone, as I think the videos from before all were very good quality. They're moving around entirely to counter our archers. Oh, and they hit the Blackroot Vale archers. I don't even know which Nazgul this is, but the bloody things have got to die. Where did they get to? What on earth are you doing over there? Did I tell you to go over there? I think I did. Oh well, whoops. Go and get involved as well. You there, also come and join in. Just hit things. Where are the cavalry? What are you guys doing? Go out and hit those orc archers. And how have you not yet killed all those Morannon Guard? You're the best units we've got. So the microphone on the headset I had, that was most of the money. So the headset had a really good quality microphone, but you paid for it. And I pay for it dearly by how uncomfortable this headset is. And so that then brings into question, do we get a better headset? And now Little Blue Ferret, or the jig is up. Like, she's called Jess. I always forget to call her Little Blue Ferret. My name is Edward. She's Jess. We're Jess and Ed. Just said, I'm going to call her Jess, I'm afraid. So she has a very nice headset, a Hyper X1. It's very, very comfortable. But then Grumpy Pirate, another one of the long-standing friends from the Discord and Steam group, he suggested about getting a wireless headset, and I thought, oh, that's a really good idea, because I have a load of wires knocking around under the desk, and they're all... I'm a minimalist. I like to not have things on show, and that seems to be such a good idea. But then with a wireless headset, you have the problem of charging. Oh, we've lost hardly... I've barely paid attention and our army's winning. That's how overpowered we are at this stage. So with a wireless one, you've got battery constraints, you've got charging problems, you've got all sorts. You don't have that with a wire. But her HyperX one was really comfortable. Is that a unit of mine doing nothing? Yeah, 6 of you over there. Go on, go and hit those orc archers. The only thing keeping the enemy still in this fight is that the Nazgul is still in existence. Go and shoot at it. Yeah. Ithilien, what are you doing? Oh, Axemen of Lasarnak. Perfect moment to come and arrive. Everybody hit those Black Numenoid. Oh, don't slow outside. You're the best unit we've got to deal with them. How many are they down to? 5. Kill them all. So it would seem that the rest of the enemy army is all in and around the gate area. No one actually made it to the square. Oh, they're fighting. Go and assist them. Got some more archers over there. Hit that orc host. Pinned cavalry, you come and hit those archers. It won't be very long until the Nazgul die. It has as well, though, reading the comment of the gentleman telling me how much I don't know, it's also giving you that a sort of drive to find out the things that you don't know. I don't like not knowing things or having things incorrectly, and now a great deal of the stuff that he did say was just him being like, my opinion is better than your opinion, so jog on. Because that's the problem with Tolkien's works, it's because he didn't finish everything, and there are a lot of things left open. There's a lot of things open to interpretation. And his interpretations differed from mine, ergo I was wrong. He was that kind of person, which is a big part of it. The reason I'm talking about it's on my mind so much is because one of the few traits that I do fully, unfortunately, support the stereotype of British people is I am, like, polite to a fault. Much like people ascribe to Canadians and Japanese people, I never can see the point of ever getting angry or annoyed at people. You can always get more done in life by being polite than you ever can by being rude. Ever. You are far more... and I know this from so many different walks of life. I worked in retail and now I work in the legal system. And in both of those places, if you are just nice and polite, you are 100 times more likely to get what you want than you ever would get if you were rude to people. Because people are humans and they like nice people. If a gentleman comes in and tells you that, I don't know, that his... I used to work in a bike shop. I used to make and repair bikes, build and repair bikes. And if someone came in and they would say, I bought this bike yesterday and it is absolutely atrocious, like the gears are sticking, all of these things are wrong. 9 times out of 10, you'd wheel it out the back, you'd spend about 2 seconds altering it because you think, well, if he's shouting at you and he's like demanding X, Y, Z, you'd wheel it out the back, you'd spend about 10 seconds, you'd fiddle around with something, you'd tell him, yeah, that's done, off you go. If he comes in and he's very, very nice to you and he says, oh, I'm terribly sorry, but the gears don't seem to be working all that well, then we would take it out the back and we would work our utmost to get that thing to work for him. And it's exactly the same in the court service because the judges have all the power, certainly in England. The judges have the power. So if you turn up and you're just nicer, the judges are always way more likely to be lenient on you, especially in the civil. There's nothing to do with Crown. If you commit a crime, you go down, or you don't go down in England very much. You get suspended sentences. But I'm not saying being nice is going to get you a not guilty verdict or anything like that. But certainly in the civil court, if you're asking for costs or something like that, or just little things like that, you will find that by turning up and being nice, you stand so much more chance of getting the case going your way, which is possibly a damning indictment of our legal system that it is swayed so heavily by human emotion. But still, it remains as fact. And so the fact that the guy is just rude, unbelievably rude, irks me in a way that nothing else really can. There's a surefire way to get a true Englishman annoyed, and that is to just be rude to him. Because we can't stand it. We are just like the Americans have the Canadians and whatnot, and just like them, if you bump into someone and it's entirely your fault, you still say sorry.
The battle is very much
sorry, no. If someone bumps into you and it's entirely their fault, you still apologise, even though basically you're just existing. You're saying sorry for existing, and that's always the example that everyone uses. But I am like that. So when people are just outright rude. Now, of course, it wasn't on YouTube. If it were on YouTube, I would have just hidden him. There are quite a few people on YouTube that I have hidden, and their only crime is that they're just rude in the way they talk. Like, they have valid points, and they have valid criticisms, and they support arguments with valid citation, but they're just rude in the way they do it, and I immediately hide them.
This is a clear victory.
But obviously, because it's on Reddit, I don't need to. I'm not actually on Reddit. A user posted it as a comment on YouTube, actually, but YouTube flagged it straight away before it went public, and I didn't display it. I'm publicly admitting to editing the news. 281 kills from the General's body. Oh, you can't win. 269 from Athelian Rangers. Well done. So yeah, I'm a little annoyed though now because that's Nienor, by the way, and her brother Turin. I should have... Oh, and if you're wondering, yes, they get down. Not straight away after she's totally naked, of course, but... story for another time. Is that story the one? Yeah, that's Children of Hurin. That already is a book. It's the Beren and Luthien that's coming out as a new book, isn't it? I was on a thread then. Ah, yes, because I wasn't paying attention really to that battle, and I'm sure we lost more men than we needed to. And Dol Guldur are now besieging the... and the bloody Umbar... The world is falling down around us.
My lord,
the pillars of the world. Oh, and Tharagrond, they've shipped reinforcements to Tharagrondos. Oh my god. Who made the game better? Which one of my bloody subordinates made the game better and improved the campaign AI? Belegar archers are in there, Corsair warriors, there's Belegar footmen. Ah, God's sake. Corsair savages. Just as we attack. At least we've got the bridge battle and no one's behind us. And how many archers have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Our army's now going to be ruined before we even get to Harad. Gibran's in the town. He's not going to do anything. Gedron's got some Belegar archers as well. Oh my. I can't believe that this has just happened. The AI's never this good.
For the White City!
Umbar really going for it. Gung-ho. Those armies have just landed. They've just shipped troops from Umbar Now, interestingly, they've not sent a general with them. That, I believe, is an image of Khan Dum, if you're wondering, by the way. Or an artist's interpretation using his own free will. I say again, I know I've said it about six or seven times, but it's just, I just have to say again, I am sorry for just talking about the guy who just doesn't like me. I appreciate it probably doesn't actually make for all that entertaining viewing, to be honest. There's nothing worse than hearing someone just moan on about something. But I'd like to think that, well, I can't really say that because all I do is moan on about things, actually. That's basically 90% of what I do. No, I like to think that I'm informative, chatty, open to discussion, and pleasant to listen to. And the fact that I moan, that just doesn't come into it. I'm actually a remarkably positive person, I must confess.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
It's very difficult to get panicked or annoyed in actual real life. But the internet world is something that's apparently just very new to me, and where it seems that it's actually very easy to get me annoyed. But there we are. So I think that's the end of my tale. 22-ish minutes in. And we've got an army of peacekeepers. They're not even that good for defending. Oh, at least the enemy's running their archers in. Go forth and know me better, man. Are you guys in position? Feel free to throw your javelins at your leisure.
If we continue like this, we will smash.
Now, interestingly, they've run their archers in, which just means they're going to die. Is that the 3,000 coming in from over there? Yeah. I didn't check how many archers he had. Get those pikemen if you can. We're doing very well. You guys move up a bit so you're ready to move into position when I call. Yeah, they're basically defeated. We've lost hardly anyone. Now the pikemen will cause us some grief though, I think. Who are you still shooting at? Oh, don't waste arrows on people that are running. No. What is the difference between you two, actually? Missile 2, Missile 3. Oh, right, so very little.
Only
So
half
just
the enemy
wipe out
force
the remainder
remains.
of this lot. Do you want to move around a bit more? This is a great bridge battle. Absolutely epic bridge battle. The positions you can get with your archers here are great. They've stopped moving. They can stop moving now. New arrow fire. Scythes across the bridge. Cuts them down as they run. The black and red of the dead Corsairs lines the bridge top. What is it now? 14 plus 3%. Oh, the bulk of the enemy are coming. Well, here's Umbar. There are their Belegar archers. Belegar means Great Ocean. There are the Belegar footmen. Oh, I'll tell you, a silver lining to this Reddit debacle is that on another Reddit post that links all of the lore videos by someone called Ferret, I think it was 22 possibly, and I owe this person a great deal of thanks because they've linked me into Reddit, and so thank you. But there were a few other people there who disliked my, who questioned my lore knowledge. And but then some people did stand up for how on point my Sindarin is. So it would seem that I may be a master or at least well versed at something in the realm of Lord of the Rings, and that is apparently my ability to speak and say Sindarin. Outside of that, though, I'm apparently the dirt on the underside of the true scholar's shoes. I suppose another part of it is when you just talk these things out loud, it helps you sort of get past it, doesn't it? And also, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There's a sort of healing aspect to speaking on YouTube. I don't know what it is, but I mean, obviously, I don't know how many of you actually watch the entire video, and I'm sure many of you skip through things. In fact, I know many of you skip through things, but I'm not judging you or telling you off. I skip through things in videos all the time, and it's just a natural part of YouTube. But there's still that aspect that potentially 3,000 odd people are hearing my problem, and all of you can, at your will, comment on it, and it creates a kind of therapy situation almost. Yeah, and I suppose that's a nice aspect of it. I also am just suddenly wondering whether or not this army's ever going to be able to take Umbar down now. I think we might have not really got the best selection of troop types. We move up more peacekeepers. Our cavalry are staying out of it, and we've only got cavalry militia as well. Our weak units of bodyguards. So stats now. Almost a quarter of them have died. Just shy of 10%. A quarter of them have died. Just shy of 10% of us have. It doesn't like lots of units in one place. It never has done. Oh, apologies if you can hear the clicking very audibly. Have to slow back down again. Oh, it really doesn't like this many people in this place. I'm hoping our peacekeeper surge. We could always retrain most of our peacekeepers, I suppose. Every unit that we've got here can be trained in the western side of Gondor, except for the Lebanon Guardsmen, actually. I shouldn't have charged them in. Oh, and they're right in the thick of it as well.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Still got some arrow. We need like a general, a captain to die or something, so that then we can get a knock-on reaction here of routing. What are we on? This battle will have to end this episode. Jessica and I go for a run on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday and a Sunday. Oh, it's really jarring now. Look at that. That's outrageously poor frame rate. It's practically mechanical. Some keyboard tricks for you. If you selected a unit and you want to deselect that unit, press enter. To zoom in on the map, just click on the big buttons. To speed up and slow down, hold the shift key and then click, and that will do in integers, in tenths of a point rather than in whole points. Tenths of an integer rather than in full integers.
We will smash the enemy.
What other things are there? If you're moving units and you want to set waypoints, then you hold down the shift key. And then when you release the last command, release the shift key with it, and your units will run in the pattern you've set. There's some keys for you there. Oh, are we getting mass routing? Or are they just pushing? No, I think they're just pushing. The reason I said the map one is because I've been asked a couple of times now, how do I get the map to be so clear? And this one has confused me greatly because like there are two buttons there that clearly show zoom in, zoom out. Now I know that I have the minimal UI and most of you will have the non-minimal UI, and you can change that by going to UI options and just ticking minimal UI. And this is the alternative UI. It tells you how many people you've got prisoner. It gives you this button, which is really useful actually, and it's one of the few reasons I probably would stick with the normal AI, is that it flashes up where units are. Very useful. So your zoom in buttons are now here instead, and as you can see, it does not like changing between UIs. Now the buttons are bugged out, wigged out. Speed up down there. There's your percentage ally victory.
Pursue and run them down.
And there's all your commands and everything. But I personally prefer minimal UI because it gives you more space in the middle. I think they are running. I think we're getting the first breaking. Chance our arm at ×6. Now the only things missing from the minimal, and I've tried to find hotkeys for them and I'm afraid there aren't, are that incredibly useful button with that the shield is, that flashes green under your units and red under enemies.
Like the coward he is.
That button is so useful. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's one of the things I really miss. Like you can see that totally wigs out when you have to reset it. I really miss that button when I play in this version where I use the minimal UI.
Only half. Behold how we've captured the enemy's general. That'll teach the cowardly dog to turn tail and run.
I also really like the. We're going to use our cavalry now to chase down those that, because they've only got archers left. I thoroughly like the little button that tells you how many people you've captured, and I'm disappointed that I don't get that. Right, so what we're going to do now is everyone except from the cav is going to run away, basically. Just run out of the way over there. Off you go. And our cavalry is going to step up to the plate.
The enemy general flees like the coward he is. Press onward. Break the spirit of his army.
Hit those Corsair warriors. Why are you attacking something? Hit those Corsair archers. Hit those Corsair archers. In we go, lads. Oh, you did a terrible charge. What on earth was that?
If we continue like this,
And you're still doing a terrible charge. There you go, that's a bit better. We've abandoned our general though, haven't we? Look at that, that's rubbish. Our cavalry is just useless. It's being absolutely useless. It keeps going into really stupid formations. Look at, they've done it as well. Oh, come on. Now this is going to get us so many people killed out of nowhere, isn't it? Oh, for God's sake, then. Run the cavalry out, they're
very
useless.
much in our favor. Victory will be ours.
Go on, off you go. They are absolutely useless. I've never known cavalry to be so useless than these cavalry are.
The enemy army flees.
End
the
it.
enemy
Don't even try and
are
chase
utterly
them.
vanquished.
Oh, God's
This
sake.
is a great victory, worthy of only the mightiest of generals.
I didn't want to leave the peacekeepers there because the enemy was just going to fire arrows at us, so we were just sitting duck. So I needed to invite them across the river, and I expected our cavalry to then just a couple of charges, break them, job done. Most of the rest of them had run away, but no, it was not to be. 271 kills, a unit of peacekeepers. Well done. So now Umbar have well, and this is why we need to invade Umbar and take their city so that they can't get any more of these scripted raids, so that then they won't ship anyone north. I think that's meant to be Azog. That's meant to be an artist's interpretation of the movie's version of Azog.
Never shall they return.
They would have run away as well because the ships are there.
Right,
I bet they're in the ships.
I'd never take orders from you.
Right, merge together what you can. Oh, you can't train anything. That's annoying. 2 turns until they're available. We'll just leave something. We'll just leave something behind. Leave behind 153 peacekeepers, and the rest of you come back to Long Gallen.
Let us set up camp here.
Although they'll probably just drop their army out, won't they? I just suddenly thought.
Ready your
Idiot.
weapons.
Right, that general and a couple of units, the ones that are unaffected. Well, we'll move them next time. Oh, we built a library in the Gondor, but the Gondor gate's under attack. How do we build a library in it? Oh, there you go. Actually, there's our answer. Oh, I know. I'll tell you what you guys can do. This realm's just suddenly become up for grabs, hasn't it? Let's go and try and get gooned.
March to exhaustion.
Expansion where we can. Or expanding where we can. We'll take 2 more of those. Anulon, can you train anything? Oh, yeah, look, you're golden. Right, so yeah, all of you go back to Long Gallen, where you will retrain and take a couple of units of peacekeepers, I think, owing to the... Oh, and some archers, even though they're only farmhand, they'll do. Ithilians, how are you getting along?
As you wish.
Come back to Long Gallen.
March to exhaustion, continuing later.
How goes things up
We can
here?
go no
So we've been
further
attacked
to
by
Conquer
Dol Guldur. Oh no, our general will be able to defeat that. The Islemouth are attacking there, and of course Angor's just defeated that army, so he's going to need to go back and deal with Muzgash.
Assail the enemies of Gondor.
And I'm going to save it there, and that will be where we start the next video. So, let's give it a save. We'll call it Main Gondor, what the hell. So, thank you very much for watching, if indeed you have. Allow me again to apologise for my getting some things off my chest, but I just wanted to let you all know that I'm not the best knowledge on the Lord of the Rings, and the videos are designed to give knowledge to those of you who may not have ever read the books, just to give a bit of background knowledge. And it is simplified, and I don't know why I'm saying all this, because the people who those kind of comments would matter to will not watch this. So until we speak again, dear friends, Navarre and Aden Perimad Melonin, thank you very much, night, and farewell.